Yo, what's up guys, it's your Hacks, and today we're going to be doing Bucket from Hack the Box. So, Bucket is a pretty medium, it's kind of nearly hardish type of box, because it includes lots of stuff, as like trying to get sensitive data from clouds and using AWS CLI, which is AWS like kind of like command line tool to get sensitive data. So without wasting time, let's just get into it. So first, I actually haven't booted up the machine yet, so let's just boot up the machine. So it'll take a while, and actually have the IP address here. So copy the IP address, go over and start a simple nmap. I made an nmap directory, so nmap tag sc tag sv tag on nmap and initial. Paste the IP address. I already did this, so let's just see the results. And we see that there's two ports open. One is SSH and the other one is HTTP. So we can go and see the website. Now we can go. So we see that it loads up with bucket.htb. This redirects me to bucket.htb. I'll tell you in a while. So let's see the let's paste that here and Control U, and when we scroll down a little bit, we see that this is trying to tell us some JavaScript, but not that much, as it's just resizing. And we see that the sources of the images are really like standing out, as they are leading to another link called s3bucket.htb. So if you click this, you will get an error if you haven't added it to your host. So if you have, just do sudo. So we need to add this to our host file. So sudo nano-etc hosts, and you see I have already done this. I just did bucket.htb and s3.bucket.htb. And if you don't know what an S3 bucket is, you can just tell by the name. By guessing an S3 bucket, you can just maybe think that it could be a storage something. So an S3 bucket, search that up. We see that it's an Amazon Simple Storage Service. Basically stores data which you can like pull out, so you can use it for like websites. Just add that source like they just did, and just tells you about how to manage the storage and stuff like that. So now we have that, we can go into s3.bucket.htb and use a slash. So it just redirects us straight to that, and we see that the status is running. Just says that, so we can use Control U to see if there's any warnings, but there's none. So we see the status running. So we can do a door buster, maybe try directory busting on this. And the reason I'm not trying it on this is because if we click on any of the links, it's just going to a hashtag. So if I just do $, it won't tell me anything. So basically there is no hidden files now. So you can't even click anything here. Basically they'll go to the same page. And we see that there is an email here, but I'm not gonna go into that. So let's run no, I'm not gonna use GoBuster. I'm going to use Fuff. Fuff is this like awesome fuzzing tool. So if you want to use it with me, you can just do it. Or if you want to use GoBuster, you can do the initial GoBuster stuff. So Fuff tag W wordless. So I'll be using the user share seclist. So if you're not in Kali, you won't have this. So in Kali, this would be automatically installed for you. So oh my god. Okay, so if you want to download it, you can just do sudo apt install setlists tag y and do the password, and it will automatically download for you. I've already downloaded it, so you can just go into, if you're in Kali, you can just go to user share setlists, discovery, web content, and directory 2.3 medium.txt, and the tag u is for URL, so you have to specify http // you can't just have if you're using FUF, you can't just have like s3.bucket, you need to have the http, but if you're using GoBuster you can have that, so s3.bucket.htb / all capitals fuzz. So this fuzz, it will try find out, basically we'll go through everything, each in this, and put it in there, and we can just see, maybe let's key it into fuf.log, and this goes incredibly fast. So we already have found health, and we can go into health, see if there's anything good there. Health, basically gives us back that the services are running is an S3 bucket and S3, and we see there's DynamoDB is also running. So what you can do is see what DynamoDB is, and we see that DynamoDB is an Amazon database and no SQL service. So it's a cloud database with Amazon. We can see what else is running, and we see that there's shell, so we can go into there, shell, and we get this error trying to lead us into an internal link. So let's just go back, and the problem is that we have to do like shell and /, and this will load us the AWS console. So this is going to be the JavaScript, DynamoDB JavaScript console. So we can't really do like stuff like ls and stuff, but we can, as I say, click the code type of code snippet button, and you see that we can do lots of stuff here. We can list tables, so we can list tables, and just do that. And I'm pretty sure, and remember to change this limit to 1, because if it's 0, we won't be able to return anything. And we see that there's one table name called users. So I will be doing this by like in the command line, because I just think it's going to be easier. So what you can do is just if you also wanted to, I think we can stop this now. And if you, let's make it to AWS, see into AWS. What's going on here? This. What we can do here is install AWS CLI. So if you haven't done that, you can just do sudo apt install the AWS CLI tag y. It's all to automatically install. I've already done it. So to trying to find anything, we can do AWS help, and that would give us the help parameters. Yeah. And we see that the options are, we can debug, turn on debug logging, endpoint URL, override commands, default URL with a good URL. So we can use endpoint URL and try and figure out. So we can do what we can do here is that we can first we actually need to AWS configurers. So this knows something. So you can just put in anything. I just put like anything. I just put US East Region 1, and I just put the default output format to text because I think that's better. And we can basically try to enumerate this DynamoDB. So we can search like how to enumerate DynamoDB. I think so. How enumerate DynamoDB. So we can list the tables. We already did that, but we might see that there could be anything, and we see that there's an AWS CLI. So we can just do AWS list tables, but it's not our own table, so we have to provide an endpoint URL to S3 bucket.htb. So we see that we can list the tables, stuff like that. So what you can do here is just copy this. I'll paste this here. We can list the tables and tag endpoint URL will equal to HTTP s3.bucket.htb/, and this will try to list the table name, and we do know the table name. It's users, so now we can maybe try scan that. So we can just do scan, and we can just scan this easily by doing the same thing, I believe. This is taking. But whatever, what we can do is scan this by nearly the same command. Just we can do it by changing this to table name. Table name equals to users, because that's what we want to find. And we can do scan here. And so what will happen is that it will try to scan this, so it didn't run for some reason. No, so we get an error. Oh, okay, so and we see that we get a bunch of credentials and usernames. So we might just store this as in AWS loop. So we can just probably like nano creds loot, let's just say loot, paste that there, X, Y, and we have loot. So we might be able to use that in a different line, maybe, which will help us trying to upload stuff. So we can now we can just do AWS S3 help. As we know it's an S3 bucket, we can see what we can do. So we can single local file and S3 object operation, so we can probably copy, move, and stuff. Remove. Just go down to try. I'm trying to find the common operations that we can do. And the available command is that we can do copy, ls, move, mb, move, lots of stuff. So some basic commands. So what we can do is AWS -- endpoint URL, which is called HTTP s3.bucket.htb /s3ls to see what we have. And we see that we have add server, so we can just ls in s3 add server. We have images, so we can listen images, but it's probably just going to be those images that we saw. So what we can do is we can, as we saw that we can copy stuff, like upload stuff. So we can probably copy cd out of this and make a door called reverse shell c to that, and let's copy the user share PHP. So I'm just gonna copy the web shell's default in Kali Linux. If you're not running on Kali Linux, you can just run a PHP reverse shell and just do the pentest monkey one, the one which comes up first. It's a pretty good one. That's the same thing that they put on Kali Linux. I just like using that because it's easier. And PHP reverse shell to shell.php, and it's shell.php, and so we can just delete this because we don't really need that. Let's do a couple of lines, and let's change this IP to one of our own IP. So if config tongue0, we have 10.10.14.45, so 14.45, and I'm gonna change the port to 123.1.2.3.4. And here what we can do now is try copy over our malicious reverse shell, and try to execute it. So and we will set up a netcat listener. So what we can do here is AWS /endpoint, just up that. This will be really easy. Just images. So let's delete this because we don't want in images. We want it just in shell.php. So that's where we're gonna store it. And here we're just gonna copy shell.php, and we see it's uploaded. So let's just do pwncat tag lp 1234. I'm using pwncat, but you can just use netcat, or if you want to use pwncat, do that. So now here we can we just have to wait for a bit and fill up PHP. Because we don't have it yet, we just need to wait for a bit. Control is it even working? No. Control Shift R. So this takes a while for some reason. Let's see. We get nothing. Maybe we'll do let's try and refresh it again. No, close. Okay, I'm just gonna try to see if it did upload, because sometimes it says that it has uploaded, but actually it hasn't uploaded. So AWS type on endpoint. Wait. Nope. So I'll just do AWS type like endpoint URL HTTP s3.bucket.htb slash s3ls, and I should in s3 add server, and looks like it just did not. So let's run that again. Run that, and we have shell.php. Let's try retrying that. Oh, that was cool. So it's still there. PHP. See. So it's still saying that it hasn't found. No, let's see if that's alive anymore. No, so there should actually be. So for the last time, let's check. And it's not, looks like it's just connected and we are getting the message. So finally we have actually got a shell. Oh, that was bad. Okay, so we need to do that again. Right? Okay, so it's running and we've got it. So let's just do Control D to reset. And sync it. Okay, it's on that. Control D reset. And we've got this tag. So here we can just do an ls tag LA if we're in a Docker environment and we see we're not. But we do see this a.aws folder, so we can just do that. ls and we see the credentials. But it looks like we are not able to do it. Like get it, tries the credentials. So what we can do is here, because we have a dub data, we can try test one. We first cat etc passwords to see if there's any users, and we see that there's Roy. So what we can do here is try login as Roy with one of the credentials. So we can just go into cat the salute, and we can try the management password. So here we can do Sue Roy, and just in time before that comes in, we can just try this. We see that fails. And I can try this one just to see if there is any. And we see we actually get in as Roy. So you can get the so now you can get the user.txt. I've already done that. So now what we can do is try enumerate. So let's do sudo tac l. No the password, but no, we may not run sudo on bucket. That's okay. So we can try going to projects. So because we source project, we see that there's db.php. We can see if there's anything good in it, but it looks like it's just the DynamoDB shell running because it is taken back to localhost server. So here what we can do is try run LSE. So LSE, if you don't know what LSE is kind of like LSE Linux privilege escalation. So LSE is kind of like Linux Smart Enumeration. So it's basically kind of like an enumerating. So you can just duplicate it and stuff like that. I already got this. So let's go into this tab. See here. I'll make the dub because we're gonna be probably hosting, and let's copy dash up Linux lsc.sh to here, and let's also copy opt linp privileges linpies here, so they're both executable. So I'm gonna run updog tag p80 and permission denied, so sudo, and it's serving. So updog is kind of like Python. So now we can do dubget. So dubget we can get 10.10.14.45 lsc.s .sh. We need the lsc and linpies.sh, and we get that. So we can mark them executable. Linpies and lsc. Can we do that? What? And we can do lsc.sh, and we know the current password to see, but it won't be really that fancy. So let's just see what this site. LSC is basically an easy way, and it's not like a full hard way that Linux that linpies does it. It's just kind of like a little bit of, it's kind of like tries to find if there's any easy way to get in. So after this, linpies might get lots of data, but LSC is not like that big as linpies, so it doesn't run that much. So it sees is the user a member of Docker group? No. But is Docker available? Yes, it is. We actually didn't see, but if you do if config, Docker would be available. So I have Docker installed, but then so just waiting for the processes to finish. But here now we can do linpies.sh, and this would start getting more. So this gets lots of data. So this is the net the PS the running processes. So we see we can go up and don't really see anything that good. We see that root is running the DynamoDB local.jar. So they're running DynamoDB locally. So we see that there is lots of information, but this won't be really necessary. So let's just wait for this to finish. So we see that this did fconfig, and it did return that Docker is available. So Docker was available, and then the networks and neighbors. But after we finished with the enumeration, we couldn't really find anything. But so we have to do a little bit of our own enumeration if we can find anything. So we can just wait for this to finish. but this won't really find anything useful. So we'll just exit this, clear this, and we can do a net stat tag nlump and nulp then. Why isn't this showing the running processes? So it's okay. Terminal LP, that should be it. And we see that there's the original ports 80 and 22, and there is another port 8000, 44671. So let's first see 8000. So local host 8000, and we see that I told you there was no JS, so probably let's cd to var to see what there is, and we see that there's this bucket app. Let's see what that is, and we see that this could be probably the 8000 port running. So we see this index.php. We can head tag 30 index.php to see if we cat like all of it. There would be some HTML, but we just want to get the PHP. So we can copy this and put this in our notes, not in Sublime, to see what this is really doing and if there's any way to exploit. So we see that this is requiring a autoload PHP, so a function, I believe. I don't really know PHP, so I don't really know those stuff. And I think it's just using the AWS DynamoDB client, and it's saying if the server request method is post, and if post action equals to get alerts, then they set the date default time set to American New York, and the client equals new DynamoDB, so it's going to create a new client, and it's going to use the profile default, and then the region US East, version latest, and then the endpoint would be localhost 4566. I believe that's where the shell was running locally. And it's saying the iterator is client iterator scan array, and then the table name should be alerts. But if when we did the scan of like we try to list the table names, the tables available, if there wasn't any table with the name alert, the filter expression is going to be title and title. The array of title should be a string called ransomware. So for each iterator as an item, it creates a random integer to 1 to 10,000 and adds a .html at the end. And then the file puts the contents of files and then the name and item of data. But this is, I think, passed through. We can see what that means through PHP function. So I think pass through maybe executes commands. Pass through is a similar function to exec that executes a command. So so this will execute this command, and then if we can control this file, we can, and it will like put it in a results or PDF. So we can, if we can control it, like maybe get the SSH keys or even the root.txt, then we can exploit it. So how we can exploit this is I even made a kind of like an MD, so an MD format. It's here. So we see that there is we first created a table named alert, and with this command, basically what this does is the table name sets as alerts and attributes to SS, which means string, and the key schema is going to be hash and rate, and provides throughout, I don't know what this means, but the endpoint URL where it's going is the bucket. So we can just copy that and make sure to do this on your own. And we see that it creates the alert, and we're putting the content plus payload. So we're putting the item alert in the table name, and the item is going to be the title of ransomware, and the data is, this is where it gets interesting, as we are getting just a normal iframe source, which we are getting the root.txt. I'll actually change this to ssh id rsa. So this is going to be grabbing this, and the endpoint URL is to S3 bucket, so it's going to execute there. So I'm going to just copy this, paste it there, and you see that worked. And now we're using the data on the attack, so we're curling as it mentioned, if the action equals to get alert and the post request thing. So here what we can do is just curl with data action and get alerts, and it should execute this and put it into file. So we want to do this in there's that, and we can see to files. We see that we have we actually don't. Wait, I don't think I have put this in yet. So I have put it. Let me just do that again. Let's see if it actually worked. Okay, so we have to be really quick with this. So because it deletes the tables, so I have to be pretty quick with this, trying to create the table and putting it. So we're just trying to create a table. Create the table, putting the payload in, and that worked. Now we're gonna use the curl data, and we should get. So it's taking a while, and we see that there's the result of PDF, and we see that's randomly generating. And here we can just copy SCP, it's kind of an SSH copy. Here, yes, we just need to delete. And it's just asking for the password. And we just copy this and no, for okay, so we did it a little bit late because we need to do it really fast because it deletes every time. So we just need to just creating the table, putting the items, curling it, and should be copying it. And you see it has got it. So here what we can do is now use events. You can't like normally cat it. If you see, it's a PDF file, so you can't do it. And you can, I think you can use gedit result to PDF. And no, see, yep. So I think you have to open like PDF editor, stuff like that. So you're gonna just do sudo apt install events. It's kind of like a PDF editor, and you can just tag Y to automatic download. I've already got it, so you can do events result.pdf, and this would open it up, and we've got the SSH key, So let's just enter here. Okay, do it. Actually, I'll just copy this. Control A and Control C. We can go back. So here we can go back. Make a door called SSH, cd to SSH. We can just do root.rsa. Paste this. Copy and paste it. We just do a space here, and we got the SSH key. So here we can just do chmod 600 root.rsa, and we can log into it. So root tag SSH tag root.rsa root at bucket.htb, and we should be automatically logged in, and we see that we are automatically logged in. So we can just get the root.txt, and so as I said, this was a pretty mediumish to hard, especially if you did it by yourself, because it does take a bit of knowledge learning about S3 buckets. Like when I first encountered this, I did not know what S3 buckets were, and then tried to really search up a lot about how to exploit them and stuff like that. So I will be leaving the root part.md, so the file that I used when it was a root part, like because I used it because it was pretty long command and I didn't really want to type it, and so I'll leave that in the description, the link to the file. And I hope you guys liked my video, and I'll try come up with a try hack me video maybe next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see